Hello and welcome to Flippin Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 108, released in January 1967. Our price, 30 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, hark the herald angels sing. Merry Christmas to you and a Merry Christmas to me. We reached our goal, 801 subscribers in time for the birth of little baby Jesus. You didn't think it was possible, but it was with your support because you hit subscribe, and I really do appreciate that. Remember, that's the #1 way to support this channel. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you want to support me in another way, you think this is worth more than a like and a subscribe? Well, patreon.com/flippinthrough. Check that out. You'll get a 6 set of stickers, maybe even some buttons. These are the people that I get to thank for their support right now. Jacqueline Gosling, Reflection of Perfection, Frank Snyder, Misimo, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Shane Buckley, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Mead Sperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's go overhead. Ah, damn it. Oh, it's been a while since I've done that oopsie. Let's get me here. There we go. Here we have Mad Magazine number 67. Listen, I had to choose a Christmas issue. This is like a forgotten one. Everybody always shows the Don Martin one with the feuding Santa Clauses. Not me, though. This is my Christmas cover. Or, more accurately, it was a Christmas cover that I found. So, who did this cover? Is this a Mingo? Yes, it is. Of course it's a Norman Mingo. This is in the 60s, and that's who is doing these. Very good job, Norman. I do like... It's not very often in a Mad cover or in a Norman Mingo Mad cover that we get pictures of people other than Alfred E. Neuman. It was pretty much always just him. So it's kind of cool to see these other characters in there. And this character, Old Saint Nick. Anyway, let's just jump right in. Oh, I skipped one. Here we have a house ad for the Mad paperbacks. What is this called? Table of contents. A class reunion is when alumni get together to find out who's too successful to show up. Why would you be too successful to see old friends? That's weird. All right. In here we have another house ad, one which I've never seen. Why bother to give Christmas gifts like 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. And then look it's all of them illustrated. You have the maids, you have kings. Those are lords a-leaping, and then there's a partridge in a pear tree. Look there's like boxes of Lucky Strikes. Is that what that is? Anyway, there's geese and stuff. Some geese laying, swans a-swimming. It's pretty fun. And that's a Sergio Aragones ad. Let's zoom in, baby. Now, this is cool because this is a television show I watched as a kid on reruns. Obviously, I'm a spring chicken. It says Gestapo tactics, and I see not Colonel Klink. Who is that? Schultz, is that his name? Sergeant Schultz or something? And obviously Hogan from Hogan's Heroes. And I saw this, I go, oh, they must have done a rewrite or a write-up, a lampooning. But that's not what happened. Through our informants, we have learned of your plans to do a takeoff on our TV show. May I suggest that you forget this foolish idea. I should like to remind you, we know you have relatives in Chicago Keep it in mind. Ooh, how threatening. I should probably mute my phone. There we go. That's kind of fun. They got the drop on them. They knew. They found out, hey, Mad Magazine is going to do a write-up about you. And they did it, that issue. I kind of like that. That's good timing. Maybe it was all just a ploy to sell more issues. If you guys are unfamiliar, Hogan's Heroes was a television show in the 1960s. I don't know, like 20 years after the horrors of World War II, they were like, hey, let's make a TV show about World War II, about being a prisoner of war, and let's have the Germans be silly gooses, who are just sort of like these nincompoops who can be, I don't know, like mocked, I guess, which is fine. I think it's fine if you mock the Germans and the Nazis. But it was, in hindsight, a little weird. I remember watching as a kid and loving it, and my dad being like, this is not appropriate. Like, this is in poor taste. There was nothing funny about World War II and POW camps. To which I say, obviously you're wrong, Dad. there was a lot that was funny about Hogan's Heroes. And yeah, so I liked it. This is Jack Davis has drawn this. Larry Siegel is the illustrator. And it's kind of fun. I don't know. It's I think Kyle Bridget and I were talking on our podcast, Potter ZB. Ooh, Potter ZB podcast. Check it out on Spotify. There's a link down below. About Jack Davis versus Mort Drucker, and he's like, Jack Davis is God tier, which he is, except when it comes to caricatures. Because I mean, this is not the best of what's his face. I forget the actor's name. You know, like Schultz. That looks good. That's a good one. But he's a big fatso with like, you know, rosy cheeks. It's not that difficult to do. Colonel Klink. That one's pretty good too. But, oh, Colonel Holcomb, come in. Go ahead, steal mine cigars. The way you always do. Go ahead, I won't look. I don't want to steal your cigars, Clunk. Well then, tickle me. Give me a hot foot. Do some ink. What's wrong with you lately? It's hard to speak German. You're disrupting the morale of the whole camp. You don't want to know what's wrong, Clunk? I'll tell you what's wrong. I'm scared because I know what TV networks are like. This show was so successful that there's bound to be imitations. Soon there'll be other funny shows about Allied soldiers in prisoner of war camps, dozens of them, and people will get sick of our show. You know how TV trends go. Oh, so that is what's bugging you. And they go on to here's Hockman's Heroes, and this time they're in a concentration camp. They are in Buchenwald, and they're all in striped pajamas with shaved heads, and they made that TV show just a little bit darker. I'd watch that one too. Here we have Don Martin, another visit with a sculptor. This one reads kind of cool. It's sort of different than other Don Martin ones. Yes, clink. That's it. After months of intense study and sketching, it's finally completed. I'll call the Modern Museum of Art immediately. Later, well, there it is, JC. I call it man's inhumanity to man. What else could you call it? You've expressed the thought exquisitely. I'll buy it. Could you put it in a bag for me? And he picks up the little chip that was chipped off. Christmas cards we like to see. I'll tell you what, they kind of front load this issue with things that are easy to read, really biasing it towards the reader like me. Back half, ooh, so many words. It's like reading War and Peace. Christmas cards that we'd like to see. Peace on Earth. Mr. and Mrs. Robert McNamara. This is not the last shot at Mr. McNamara in this. Hark the herald angels sing. That's from Harley Davidson. I wonder, did Harley Davidson ever like really show support to the Hells Angels? Or were they always like, oh, not sure. We can get behind that. Wishing you a prosperous new year. There's a guy picking a cigarette up off the gutter. And it says Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated. And then we have, may all your Christmases be white. Robert Shelton, Imperial Wizard, the Ku Klux Klan. And this one might be my favorite. Don We Now Are Gay Apparel, and it's Liberace. Did everybody always, people didn't always know that Liberace was gay, right? Like, there was like, it was a little bit of an open secret. Like, he didn't say it, but everybody was like, bro, you're looking pretty gay. That's what I think. I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Did you know Liberace was gay? Joy to the World, the editors of MAD, and it's just a bunch of monkeys in cages. Our Spy versus Spy is, they're pretty good this time. Yeah, look at, oh, he tickles his nose, he says "Hachu," and then he snatches at the plans. No death in this one, which is kind of nice, I have to say. Again, we come across this, and it's like, I don't know. They're really trying to capitalize on snappy answers to stupid questions. This time, snappy answers to those old cliches written by Stan Hart. Al Jaffee, though, he did all the writing for snappy answers himself. When was the first snappy answers? Hold on. Snappy answers. Okay, find. I'm on Cracked Cover site. Doug Guilford's. Snappy answers. 65. Okay, and number 98. So yes, this came after. My suspicions were confirmed, and they're okay. I mean, like, Paul Coker drew this. I like Paul Coker. He really tried to amp it up. Drew a lot of babes in this. Here's this. Where have you been hiding all year? If I tell you, I'll have to find a new place to hide next year. I'm not that kind of girl. Ho, ho, ho. I don't know that that's that snappy. Please don't call me Mr. Finster today. I'm just Joe. Joe who? Hey, when does the real fun begin? Just as soon as you leave. Here we have a southern resort. Gee, you're so pale. You look sick. Roasting flesh always makes me nauseous. I love getting tan. I'm not that kind of girl. You're sure advertising like that kind of girl. They have that one in every single one. Here's this one. I'm not that kind of girl. Gee, then all the fellas must be lying. I'm not that kind of girl. It's not that kind of present. I'm not that kind of girl. Don't knock it till you tried it. Where is it in this one? I'm not that kind of girl. Oh yeah, ho, ho, ho. I didn't appreciate that the first read through. I just caught that. I don't know, that's kind of fun. Oh, look at all these words. Ads for other 1967 vehicles. We're going to cruise on through this, even though it's my man Bob Clark doing the artwork, because here we have some Max Brandel, a portfolio of MAD namelies. Max Brandel always played with words and sort of that graphic design element, and I always enjoyed it quite a bit because it seemed pretty different than other stuff that was appearing in MAD magazine. So here we have J. Edgar Hoover, obviously the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So you have the little thumbprints, because that's what cops are always doing. They're always thumbprinting people. Moses, that's cute. Dior with the pincushion. Teddy Roosevelt with his pince nez. What is that, Koufax? What is that, Sandy Koufax? Ernie Koufax? He's a baseball player. Here we have another shot, pun intended, at Robert McNamara. It's kind of a cute one as far as war crimes go. And then Maria Callas. I don't really understand this one. Is she an astronaut? No, there were no astronauts back then. And Wilt Chamber. Okay, so I was wondering why these were like in a box. And then I realized Wilt Chamberlain, these are his legs, because he's such a tall fellow. And of course, look at here, down here, Louis Armstrong with the G as a trumpet. I think that's rather cute. And here we are with our second spy versus spy, and a creature other than a spy being drawn, which I'm always a fan of. Here, the black spy sees the white spy coming, throws a boomerang. White spy takes out a boomerang and pretends to be struck by it, and then the actual boomerang makes its way around and clobbers the black spy. What is a BMOC? I'm not going to read this guy. Big man on campus. Big men on campus. I think that's what it is. Oh, look at big man on campus. Here's Sergio doing like something in between a mad look at big men on campus and the marginals. It's pretty cool. But I'm glad that he settled into other things. Oh, wait, do I mean that? Wouldn't it be cool to see him do other stuff, like little cartoons or like things like this? I think so. If they restart MAD, they should not restart a MAD look at. They should just hire Sergio to do other shit. That would be fun. Here we have telephone solicitors. The abuses. Unwanted calls can be cruel. Oh, I love that lettering. Ring. Ring. Congratulations, you have just won a week's free dance instructions. Unwanted calls can interfere. I just got 3 minutes to call home. And now, madam, let me explain how our food freezer plan works. The line was busy. Oh, he's headed to South Vietnam. Why did there be a telephone booth on the ship? I mean, we had telephones, but I guess maybe they did back then for privacy. Good morning. You are the lucky. You have just won. This is your friendly. They always come at the worst times. But you don't need to do this, right? Like, you don't have to answer the phone. The reactions. But that's a very millennial view of that I have. If I don't want to answer the phone, I just don't answer it. It's great. There's a lot of freedom in that. This is like a really long one. I mean, this just goes on and on, all about solicitors and solicitors. And what's interesting about it is that it sort of changes format. It goes into like slowly into an article and then back into panels. I don't know. It's weird. How can we fight back? Things we can do to telephone solicitors. The wrong address ploy. When telephone solicitor gives you a number to call, do so and act anxious to buy product they are selling. Then give a phony name and address where they should deliver it. Only works if it's like cash on delivery though, right? And they probably stopped doing that because of hijinks like this. So thanks a lot, Jaffee. Here we have some more beautiful Bob Clark illustrations. A mad shopping guide to gifts for Finks. An adorable puppy. What person wouldn't just love to get this adorable ball of wool? No need to tell the Fink recipient that it's a St. Bernard puppy. He'll find out in due time. Have you any idea how much it costs to feed a St. Bernard? A $5 chip from Sands Hotel. This vacation special is best used when Fink friend is discussing where he should spend his 2 weeks. $5 chip will be motive enough to make the cheap crumb choose Las Vegas, where he will promptly lose a fortune gambling. 6 stereo LP symphonies. This marvelous gift for a music lover, Fink, costs you only $1.98. Just don't mention that you have enrolled him in a record club. He is now forced to buy an additional 6 records per year at $5.98 each. And if he does not have a stereo player, well, that's a bonus. Unpainted furniture. Ooh, a Barbie doll. This gift really needs no explanation. For only a couple of bucks, you make the Fink's kid happy while burdening the Fink with endless costs, like for Barbie's summer and winter wardrobes, her house and car, her hundreds of friends who also need wardrobes, etc. Not great. Here we have the lighter side of mail. You guys should really hit pause and read this. This is so good. I'll pause for your pause. Wait, so I could give him the middle finger? No, that would be funny. That's why he doesn't do it. Here we have football is covered by other publications. And I'm gonna skip that because all the words. This is a banger of an issue. And look at here, Mort Drucker getting second billing behind Jack Davis and Hogan's Heroes. Well, that makes sense considering the letter they got and also how good that one was. Who cares about the sound of music? That's not, those are kind of like whimsical Nazis too, aren't they? Aren't those all those kid Nazis? They're like little baby Nazis? Hitler Youth or something? Oops. At last, I've got it, Sydney. My formula for instant height. Do you realize what this means? Yes, doctor. All my life, I've been a little man. Now, with 1 dram of this formula, I can be 8 feet tall instantly. But don't you think it might be a terrible jolt to your system, doctor? Perhaps you should only drink half of it at a time. Maybe you're right, Sydney. What an idiot. Oh, did you hear that? I just ripped the page. Maybe you're right, Sydney. I'll only drink half of it. Bleep. All right, let's zoom out because we have a Christmas message from Santa Claus. Don't let the peddlers of fear and pessimism tell you that our wonderful world is doomed. Using my wisdom and experience, I can assure you that a glorious, resplendent future will still belong to you if you will but aspire to achieve it. All hate, war, greed, and suffering and sin will soon vanish from the earth, and man will find peace. Yes, a golden world is coming your way. Take it from wise old Santa Claus. Don't tell us you still believe in Santa Claus. Beautiful. And then here's great moments in advertising. The day that no one was left up to get him a grants. What? Anyway, you guys, I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.